Elizabeth Warren is now running for the Democratic presidential nomination in a year in which the Democratic Party has just gone so crazy far to the left. She hired someone named Max Berger as one of her progressive campaign outreach chairs. Max Berger is a co-founder of a despicable far-left, self-hating, Jew-hating group called If Not Now. If Not Now is so radically left that they protest Shabbat services for Jews observing Sabbath. They have been known to say Kaddish, the traditional Jewish mourner's prayer, for Hamas jihadists who have been fired or have been killed by IDF rocket fire. She has surrounded herself, much like Bernie Sanders, with Israel-hating, I would say Jew-hating anti-Semites. And this is honestly, it's very sad, but it's hardly unexpected. As soon as I saw that she hired Max Berger this summer, I thought, okay, we're going to get to exactly where we now see that she's gotten.
Well, the only positive thing, the only silver lining here is that we at least are seeing her true colors before it's too late. The other thing is her answer was actually very uneducated because the United States stopped economic aid to Israel back in 2007. That's not something that currently happens. We provide military aid to Israel right now, but not economic aid. And if you're talking about the military situation, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict here, I think we have to ask ourselves the question, what is the barrier to peace here? Is it Israel? Is Israel's defense of herself and her people, or is it the Palestinian terrorists? Are they the barrier to peace here? We have to answer honestly that question.
Yeah, we really do. And you know what? My friend David Bragg, who used to be the executive director of Christians United for Israel and now runs a group called Maccabee Task Force, he has a really wonderful video for PragerU. I think he did about two and a half years ago, where he really nicely goes back to the history, to the beginning of the 20th century, and he systemically shows over and over again that it is the Palestinian Arabs who are the obstacle for peace. They have turned down Israeli offers for peace as far back as the United Nations' original two-state partition in November 1948, where the Jews accepted a tiny sliver of land, barely enough to sustain a civilization, and the Arabs said no and then tried to kill the Jews the very next day. The same thing happened in 2000 at Camp David. It happened in 2008 when Ehud Barak gave probably the most generous offer, or actually that was Ehud Olmert. 2000 was Barak. And then also in 2010, Prime Minister Netanyahu, as a sign of goodwill to Barack Obama, did exactly what Liz Warren wants Israel to do. He had a 10-month freeze on so-called settlements. The so-called settlements are actually legally fine. The left gets this wrong, but we can talk about that perhaps another day. But he actually froze so-called settlements for 10 months. And you know what? Mahmoud Abbas, who is currently in the 15th year of his 4-year term, that shows how corrupt and kleptocratic he is as the chair of the Palestinian Authority, he did not even come to the negotiating table after a 10-month full-on settlement freeze from Netanyahu. So the Palestinians over and over again, Liz, they show who they really are. They reveal their true hand. They have no interest in peace. All they want are dead Jews. That's all they want.
Well, and everything you just mentioned is perfectly valid. The history is astounding. We can see who the barrier to peace negotiations are, but everything you're talking about is negotiations at a negotiating table as well. We're not even taking into account, or you weren't in that narration, not even taking into account the fact that it's the Palestinian Authority and Hamas and Palestinian terrorists who actively attack Israel.